Hello people of the internet, it's Amanda, and for today's video, instead of talking about a drama or a movie, I decided to focus on a socio-political and philosophical idea ignited by one. I'm talking about Death Note. Now, just a refresher for you guys, but then you clicked on this video, so most likely you know what it is about. It's basically a manga that was created by Tsugumi Oba and Takeshi Obata, and it ran in the Weekly Shonen Jump from 2003 to 2006. Now, since then, because of its reception, it also got an anime adaptation in 2006, 2 live-action movies, and then from there it just sort of like grew. It even had like a sequel 10 years later in 2016, and then a 2015 live-action adaptation with a fresher cast and a different take on the whole idea of Light and L's dynamic. And then in 2017 we got that horrid adaptation made by Netflix that we really don't want to dive deep into and talk about. But for the intents and purposes of this video, I'm not gonna dive deep into the storyline of Death Note and those adaptations, but rather focus on the main question as to what would you do if you have a Death Note, or if you receive a Death Note, and how do you think would it change your life? Before I move on into discussing that thing, let's just jump right in first with the idea of what the Death Note is actually about. Death Notes are generally from gods of death or shinigamis when, you know, if they want to have their fun, just like Ryuk did, he's gonna drop one for a human to find, and voila, there's power for you by using a notebook that doesn't run out of pages, and when you write names on it, bam, someone's gonna die. There are a couple of rules into it. You can even manipulate death, but basically if you don't write anything, just a name, then the person dies of a heart attack. The rules include that you have to have the person's face in mind so that other people with a similar name wouldn't be affected. The main idea of it is that you would have omnipotence over other people's lives. I know that Death Note has been out there for how many years already, but because of the so many things that are happening around the world, its philosophy and social political themes are still standing out there. Like, what if you couldn't trust the authorities anymore to do justice for you? Should you do it yourself? And if given this godlike power to take someone else's lives, especially if they're bad people, what would you do with that kind of power? Another reason why I want to dive deep into this is because despite the idea that Japanese movies and anime is such a niche thing, Death Note's idea, and even Death Note, like the movies and the adaptations, grew so wide that almost everyone knows about it. And it even had real life implications that are really eerie when you look it up. There are several incidents in the past where both teens and adults were called out and got into trouble for creating their very own death notes, putting names of people there, just writing things down about how they want people to die and stuff like that. And as much as there's really not a correlated expectation of action, couldn't be considered attempted murder or something in a way, the idea that it sparked to people on just simply writing on a piece of paper and killing someone, you can say that there definitely is a massive influence that happened there. There was even an incident in Belgium called the manga murder, where 2 teens did murder someone and they left a note saying, "I am Kira." I myself have very vivid memories of how Death Note had that impact around that time. I entered high school 2007. Don't compute my age, please. What? Entering a Catholic school, I remember there was this time where they banned everything Death Note, like not just the notebooks where you can buy in like comic stores here and there, but even merch like bags, anything, even if it indicates that you're on L's side and not really Light's, but they just banned everything Death Note in our school. Now, fast forward to present day, I decided to do my own deep dive of research and ask people who know Death Note, who are into Asian dramas, who knows the implications of Death Note, so I can get like very well-informed insights as to what they think about Death Note, what would they do with it, and how do they think it would change their lives. And some of the responses I got were, well, it's not really surprising, but at the same time very, very interesting. Claimed that they would use it selectively, meaning they would just kill criminals and just people who are not doing good for our society, similar to Light's initial purpose. Then others claim that they would probably not use it at all for their own sake and for their souls, because FYI, it was said that if you use Death Note, your soul would neither go to heaven or hell. Fascinating to me is that with these different perspectives, it's good to know that some people still recognize the idea that no matter how good you are or how intact your values are, when given this kind of like omnipotence or just godlike ability to deal with someone else without even touching them, and without that idea of being accountable or caught, you know that you're bound to like exceed your own volition or your own capabilities. Now, I personally think of the same thing, mainly because in reference to the Stanford prison experiment itself has proven that when someone is given power or authority to deal with someone else, no matter how good our intentions might be, can still end up just leading towards manipulating and controlling the subject that we're focusing our power on. So I couldn't say for sure that no matter how good of a person someone else is, if they were given a death note, they would probably just end up killing someone or justifying why they killed someone, good or bad, because of their own set of moral values. How right or good someone is, or how strong their sense of justice is, they will probably end up compromising those values for the sake of protecting the secret or protecting how they are doing what they're doing, just so they wouldn't be accountable for it. I even looked up some Reddit threads as to what they think about it, and some, yes, have claimed that Light is just basically no different from a serial killer. Others are on his side and thought that he'd probably do the same thing. But one thing's for sure, a lot of people couldn't trust themselves if ever they were faced with that choice of being given that power, which I think is kind of nice, because people are very much into recognizing what they're actually capable of rather than being very idealistic about it. Because I think being so ideal, owning such a powerful thing, can be very creepy and can be even more disturbing in a way. So yeah. Overall, what are my thoughts on this? Well, the thing is, I am really on L's side on this one. Everyone really feels like Light on some days, where it's just so much easier to obliterate someone, especially with all the injustices happening. But as Elle said, injustice may be flawed, but people are trying really hard to weave things all together, and just having someone play or have control over someone else's life is an unfair playing ground. And in the end, this may seem like a dead-end research, but at the same time, I'm still really happy I did this, because I'm just particularly curious as to what people would say. I want to know what you say about the matter as well. So please tell me what you would do if you have a death note, or how do you think would it change you, down in the comments below. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, and if you're new to my channel and you would want to hear more from me, please hit subscribe. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll be seeing you again soon in a new video. Bye!